All right, everybody, Ron Carruthers here. I'm at Ron Carruthers on Twitter, and I am Carruthers College and Carruthers Solutions on Facebook. Recently, I posted a link to a client communication profile that we use for all of our clients. And it really helps us do a good job in 4 specific areas of getting to know them better. And basically what those areas are processing information, problem solving, managing risk, and then implementation strategies. So it allows me in a very short period of time to get to know my clients better. It's based on the work of several behavioral psychologists, and believe it or not, if you've taken the test, it's pretty quick, but there are 19,000 different options. And so I offered that on New Year's Eve. If you don't have it yet, I'm going to post the link right below this video to take it, and you're encouraged. It's a free gift. We use it with my clients every day in my practice, and I definitely encourage you to go take that. So without further ado, let's get in here and let me show you kind of how it works and what you're looking at. So we're going to leave my camera going, but I'm at least going to make it so I can't see myself. Actually, we'll stop the video for a moment because I need to look over at the monitor here. So basically, if I was going to give you a pen or a cell phone and ask you to reach for it, and if you're right-handed, 99 times out of 100, something close to that, you're going to reach for the phone with your right hand. And if you're left-handed, 99 times out of 100, you're going to reach for that pen or phone with your left hand. That's just human nature. And so what this communication profile tries to do is help you, first of all, understand your own natural strengths. And this is not a strengths and weaknesses portfolio, it's strengths to strengths. And let me just turn up the brightness here in case you guys are having a hard time seeing this. Let me go in here. Yep, classy. You get, I don't know what I'm doing, but at least I can navigate this as opposed to Periscope, which I still haven't quite figured out. So the idea here is, what are your natural strengths? And there's basically 4 of them that we measure. And so when you look at the scale, it looks like this. Number 1 is problem solving, processing information, managing change, implementation strategy. And we have 2 axes there. We have the aggressive side on problem solving and the reflective side. And then we have the optimistic side on processing information and the realistic side. We have predictable versus dynamic on managing change. And then we have structured versus pioneering on implementation strategy. So let me show you how we actually use this in the analogy that we use. And I pulled up my own profile here. In baseball, there's 2 types of players. There's infielders and outfielders. And the way they handle their systems is a little bit different each time. So when an infielder hears the crack of the bat and a ball gets hit, they aggressively run towards it. All right, split-second decision, moving quickly, they don't have time to think. Whereas an outfielder is going to tend to back up a little bit more, get the line, the trajectory of the ball, take their time, and then make the catch. And so if you score aggressively, then your natural tendency is to move quickly to action. Just kind of like fix it. And as I like to say, can you solve every problem aggressively? You can. That doesn't mean you should. And if you're an aggressive problem solver, I'm sure you've had times before where you've gone to solve a problem and aggressively was not the way you should have solved it. You probably should have taken a little more time on it. And same thing with reflective, where you're a little slower, your natural tendency is to go a little bit slower pace, and so you end up missing out maybe on an opportunity. By the way, this is really helpful if you have a spouse at the same time, so you can understand each other's natural strengths in this area, because opposites attract. Now in my case, I'm a 7 on the aggressive scale. Now, I took this a few years ago for the first time, and I'm showing you one from about 4 years ago, 5 years ago. My guess is I'm probably even higher up that scale now. It's just what I tend to do. So I have to naturally balance that, knowing that, and remind myself, slow down, get all the data, and my wife skews the other end of this spectrum. And so she's naturally a little more reflective, wants time to analyze the data. And understanding that about each other also helps us get along a little bit better. And even with clients, if I have aggressive problem solver that skews optimistic over here, like I just have to explain some basic details about financial stuff. I'm like, yep, that sounds great. We're going to do what you tell us to do. Whereas the spouse might be a little more reflective and realistic and need a little more time to process a little more information about it. Then when we get to processing information, and really the two most common ways of glasses when you're getting corrected are what? They're farsighted and nearsighted. And if you switch glasses, if you're a farsighted person and you put on somebody who's nearsighted glasses, not going to be able to see anything. In this arena, an optimist is really like into a far-sighted individual, someone who's very quick to trust, doesn't really need to validate as much. They see the big picture more quickly and like, yep, it's all going to work out, it's going to be fine. Whereas a realist skews a little bit more the other direction, kind of more of a trust but verify, a little bit more nearsighted in that regard. So it's just something to keep in mind. In my own natural case, I'm a 10 on optimistic. So again, I have to naturally balance that by being a little more cautious and not just assuming everything. My wife happens to be a 7 optimistic also. And particularly when it comes to money, but really in all areas, because frankly, we all problem solve every day. We process information every day. We have to deal with change every day, and we have to implement what we've done. It helps you just realize where you're at on this a little bit more. The third area is how you manage change. Now, in a relay race, there's 3 areas. There's the start, there's the finish, and then in the middle there, what you see down here is the baton handoff, right? You have a box you have to get it done in. If any of you guys ever ran relay races, I was a swimmer, so we didn't deal quite with that, but you had to wait, you had to track down the person swimming up to the thing and then jump out when they were going. If you jump too soon, too late, it costs you. So when we ask somebody, what's the most important area in managing change? Is it getting started? Is it getting finished? And the answer is yeah. Particularly if you're in a business partnership or relationship, often one will be the quick starter, right? They kind of make stuff up as they go, lots of balls in the air, whereas a more predictable person, the finisher, is going to work on one thing at a time and want to see that through to the end, want a more predictable plan. So again, just understanding where your natural strengths are in that area will really help you out a lot, particularly again with business partners and spouses. I'm a 3 on dynamic. And again, I'll bet if I took that again, I'd probably skew a little more towards the dynamic way, but I have to force myself. Finish what you start, make sure you work through. So understanding this really helps me manage myself better. And then lastly, the implementation strategy is, how do you see things? Well, there's 2 kinds of people in the world. There's one kind of person on the right who's very structured, like structured strategies. A stop sign means stop. You know, the rules are for your protection and you operate best inside the rules. There's the other kind of person who a stop sign is a suggestion. In California, we even call it the California rolling stop. Now, I'm pretty good about stopping behind the stop signs, a couple tickets in my youth, getting them for rolling through those. But in business, you guys will hear me say this on Twitter and on Facebook, rules are for other people. My clients are the exceptions to the rules. I'm the exception to the rule. And so a pioneering person is the left hand going to tend to question those rules. A structured person is going to tend to follow the rules. So again, in my practice, when I'm dealing with someone that I know tends to be more structured, I'm going to have it written down: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Someone who's, if both in the couple are a little more pioneering, I'm just going to tell them, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. Makes sense? Boom, let's do it. So when you get your report, there I am, a little more pioneering. When you look at your report, that's really what it's trying to help you with. What I say in my practice is there's nothing that unites people more than seeking a common outcome, but it can be very frustrating if someone else in your household or in your business relationship style is a little bit different than yours, and you don't quite understand why they do things the way they do. They don't understand why you do things. And when you look at your report, there is even do's and don'ts on the back. So if you have a partner, have kids, and we found it's effective in anybody with an 8th grade reading level over the age of 12. Seems to do pretty good with this and understanding it. So you can definitely have your kids take it and such not. So I hope that provides a little bit more explanation for you on this. And we're going to be doing more of these periscopes. This is a YouTube because I couldn't figure it out. But we're going to get this figured out because I've got a lot of cool stuff to show you guys that will help you be more efficient with the resources that you have. But I thought you guys would enjoy that gift, and I wanted to make sure to explain it to you. So that is it for now. Hope you enjoy it. And again, if you haven't taken it, do it there. If you love it, feel free to retweet it to your followers or your business associates. I pay a small fortune for this license. So please use it by all means. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll chat soon.